bring on a special guest of mine. And this is like, I'm gonna try not to get emotional. So this is someone who I've been friends with for years. We were kind of in the same company at one point, but we just became friends and we created a relationship that was professional, but also personal. And she's just become somebody that I trust, I respect. I have the utmost, I'm inspired by her, by what she does. And I wanted to bring her on today because she's a person that has triple ranked. If you're a person on here that you'd love to be at the rank of emerald or platinum or gold, put whatever rank you would love to achieve, because this is a person that's done it in a very short period of time. But that's not the story here. The story is not the time. The story is the why and the how. And so she's going to come on. She's going to share with you her story of what she's done in this industry, who she is, and how she was able to accomplish what very few accomplish at a time where most of you, are any moms on here? If you're a mom, put a mom in the chat. That most moms would probably completely shut down. And she didn't, because she decided to do something for her family that most people would be like, you know what? I'm just going to take a pause. I'm going to just chill for a minute and I'm going to really focus on this. Instead, she handled her affairs. She helped her family get through something that most would never even see the way to get there, through the darkness. And she was able to do that. So I want to bring on my friend, new Emerald triple ranked Sholly Cook, to share her story with us today. Sholly, are you there?
I'm here, James. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take it away.
Well, just that introduction is going to make me cry already before I even get to my story. First and foremost, I'm honored to be here. This isn't my rank. This is my team's rank. I wouldn't be here without my team, first and foremost. I've been in this industry since I turned 18. I love the network marketing industry. I met somebody through Mary Kay back in the day, and that was where I originally got my start. But later on in life, I had just learned how important health and wellness was, because in 2011, I lost my mom to an accidental overdose when my youngest son was 3 months old. And so that really propelled me to want to get away from prescription medication. But at the same time, going through all of that, I ended up developing my own health issues, which I recently shared about in a book, where I actually really became very vulnerable. I wrote a chapter and shared everything that I had gone through in my own personal struggles, because again, I was diagnosed with something very rare that I was told that was incurable. It affected everything I did, from social aspects to the relationship with my husband. At one point, a couple years ago, I was in so much pain that I had got down on my knees and I asked God. I was like, it's either I let go or you show me something. And by his grace, I am still here, because he showed me some different ways that I could work on myself, and some different modalities that helped me to be here today. And I'm so grateful, because lo and behold, being here, and what just recently happened and what we went through, I'm so grateful that I'm here, because I don't know how my family would have gotten through the tragedy that we just went through with my son. And I'll share more about that. So, this industry is not always the easiest industry to be in. And I've had some great success throughout my time in this industry, but I've also had some really low points too. And I got to a point that I literally was just in a burnout phase, because I was protecting my own health with everything I had been through, and just healing my relationship with my husband, because sometimes this industry can affect marriages, right? We know what we have our hands on, but sometimes just the ups and downs of the industry as a whole, maybe wrong community or leadership, and I'm talking corporate leadership, right? Because you're responsible for your own leadership. companies falling apart, just different things. And so that can sometimes put strains on relationship. But at the core of my being, I've always known that this is the industry that I wanted to be in. But again, I did take a break because I was in burnout mode with a lot of things that were happening, and I had gone back to a full-time job. And James knew that I was working a lot, was in a full-time job, and I was crushing it. But at the same time, I was now driving an hour back and forth to work, working 60 plus hours. I was tired in a totally different way. And I knew that I was meant for more, and I knew I needed to get back into this space. And so when James called me, he just said, "Hey, Sholly, I know you're going through a lot right now. Something just popped up in my life. Love for you to take a look at it." And I was like, "Oh, James, I'm so busy right now." But I'm open because I'm always looking at something that's going to help other people and help my own health. And I'm so grateful that I said yes to just even being open to look, right? I took a look at it. I heard the story of Dr. Tony and I had chills, and I said, okay, I'm in. I want to do this. This is going to change lives. This isn't just about a weight loss product or a fad. This is true life healing. And so I jumped on board. I shared it with 3 of my closest friends. We got on the product and we all felt something immediately from Love Cafe. Hallelujah for Love Cafe. um, it was just what I needed at the time. And I was still working my full-time job. So I was kind of doing a little bit in the nooks and crannies. And then on May 29th, my world fell apart. And I got a call that my son was hit by a car and was being transported to the hospital. And I had asked the police officer if my son was alive, and he wouldn't give me any answer except that he was unresponsive. And so we rushed to the hospital. And when I walked in that door, alive or not. And when I got there and saw my son just lifeless on the table, of course, that was a heartbreaking moment for us. And the doc told us to be prepared. And we waited for 6 hours to find out if my son was going to make it through the night. He spent the next 2.5 weeks in a medically induced coma. And we still didn't know what type of function he was going to be at when he came around from waking up, or if he would wake up at that time. And again, by God's love on all of us and all of the prayers, my son woke up. And my best friend at the time was coming out because James was doing an event in out here in Phoenix, and she came out to be with me. And she said, the best thing that I can do for you right now is to go build us a business. So she came out here to kind of learn a little bit more about the event and what James was doing. But what was crazy was June 20th. So what, 20 days after my son was in the hospital, when he was able to start consuming liquids, these products, I gave my son some of these products, and I told the hospital, I said, I am very much into natural products and I'm going to give my son these products. And they said, well, you can't, we need to see what you're doing, has to be approved. And I said, bring me your dietitian then. And I showed him the back of 3 of our products, and the dietitian said, wow, these are really good products. And I said, yeah, I know, that's why I'm giving them to my son. And you guys, 8 days later, we were getting out of the hospital. That right there was all the testimony that me and my best friend had to see. We saw for ourselves what these products were doing outside of what we had felt. We were able to see them right in front of us, from someone who was unexpected to live to getting out of the hospital after consuming these products in 8 days. So she took off and ran with that story and shared with everybody. So the power of one person, like James said, I didn't duplicate anything other than just sharing with her and telling her, hey, can you take a look at this? Got her on a call with James. And then she ran based off of the story that we saw. That's the duplication that you're looking for. That's the system. Share your story or go share someone else's story. Share my story. I'll talk about this all day long to anybody now, because now not only did I feel it and experience for myself, like the Love Cafe and ooh, all of that, but when I saw something radically change my son's life in his brain performance, in his speech and everything, I knew how different this product was and how different this company is. And the love and the faith that has been poured into each and every one of us in my family because of what we've seen. And so now we have this amazing business, right? And I cannot keep my mouth shut for two reasons. Number one, the product and the health of my son. But number two, we now have medical bills pouring in right now that insurance is not covering. And yes, they have every right to deny certain things, which really sucks. But now I'm building this for a financial future for us to be able to afford for the unknown. I heard years ago, dig the well before you're thirsty. And I never dug deep enough, but I'll tell you what, I'm digging now, and I'm grateful that I dug at least enough to get us started to be where we're at right now. And now I can't imagine going back to work. Like, I have to build this business so that I have the time and freedom with my family, and so that I can always be here for my children when they need them. And so as a mom or as a dad, as a parent, I encourage you to really take a look at this company and what we offer, because we truly have something different and something unique here that is building a legacy on rooted foundations of health and restoring the body. Thank you for allowing me to share my story with you, and I hope that in some way that this touched you and this inspired you to dig deep for yourself, build big, share your story, and share mine. Get on these products and see what it can do for you and for your loved ones. Thank you.
Wow. I I got no words, Sholly. I mean, I've known you for years, and the passion that you bring to this story, show some love for Sholly in the chat there. I mean, I'm all goosebumped out over here, because again, you look at somebody and it's all a perception, right? You look at somebody, go, wow, she got to Emerald, she must be lucky, or she must have had success before, or whatever it is. Knowing that she did this while that was going on is, again, shared one story with one person, and it grew from there. And now she has a business outside that person too. But again, it's all about, that little ignition, that little fire of creating this duplicating of the story, of the system, of the tools. Sholly wasn't having success and then taught somebody how to do that. She literally just duplicated a story. So, Sholly, I want to thank you so much for sharing your heart and getting through that with us, because I know how hard that is for you, and what you've been through over the last few months. And we are all here for you. This is your family now, and no matter what, you're stuck with us. So you're not
I'm
going,
home.
and you're home.
I want to say one other quick thing. My best friend Diane that I shared this with, she went and worked with my team when I couldn't. And that is such a beautiful thing, because on my team, there's no cross line, sideline. We are all one. And that's the other thing I love about this company, is that we are all one and we're here to support each other no matter what. So when life gets thrown your way and something happens like this, that anybody here is able to reach out and help somebody else. And so I'm grateful that we are one team as a company, and that triples down the rest of our teams.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Sholly. I'm gonna